In the Musaf service, towards the middle part, we encounter three important sections called Malkhuyot, God's sovereignty, Zichronot, God remembers, and Shofarot, which is the blowing and the sounding of the shofar. We understand Malkhuyot because of God's sovereignty, and we have all appellations of God's, metaphorically speaking, of being enthroned as a king, as a sovereign. Then we have the section of Zichronot, because Rosh Hashanah is also known in the Torah as Yom HaZikaron. In which way? In the way that God remembered Abraham and Sarah, if you recall from the Torah reading. And God gave them the opportunity to have a child, Isaac. So an important element of Rosh Hashanah is a God that remembers. The idea of Zikaron, right, of remembering. The last section of these three parts is called Shofarot, because also in the Torah we find that the day of Rosh Hashanah is known as Yom Teruah, the day of the sounding of the shofar. And the role of the shofar is to awaken us to the divine calling. Also the shofar will accompany the idea of revelation. When the Torah comes down from Mount Sinai, we hear the shofar, right? A strong shofar, says the Torah. And then later on, we think that the shofar will be used in the announcing of the Messianic times. So the prophets anticipate that coming at the end. So these three sections of Musaf are crucial. And the prayer of Aleinu on page 154 is a prayer for which we stand. We open the ark. And this prayer, Aleinu, was written originally not for the daily services as we sing it every day, but rather for Rosh Hashanah. And it's very well known because it's repeated on all services throughout the year. There are a couple of interesting subjects here. One was written perhaps in the 3rd century by Rav. Then there is a section that calls about V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim. On Rosh Hashanah, it is tradition for the Chazan and the Rabbi and many members of the congregation to prostrate themselves entirely, especially on Yom Kippur, going all the way to the floor, in a show of falling of our faces and a way of adding supplication and extra connection to our sense of guilt. So the prostration is accompanied also with a sense of devotion, and according to tradition, it was done at the temple in Jerusalem. So that is, on page 154, the Aleinu of Rosh Hashanah.